Mr. Bobby, you want to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Yes.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Tina?
Our dear Heavenly Father, we thank Thee so much for the many blessings that Thou hast bestowed upon us. We thank Thee so much for the children and this opportunity that we have to serve them. We ask that Thy Spirit will be with us here this evening, that we will be able to make choices that will be in their best interest, in the best interest of our teachers. And we say these things humbly in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Will you all please join us in a moment of silence for Ms. Whitehead? I'm going to call to order the December 12th, 2022 Huntsville Board of Education meeting. We do have a quorum. We want to welcome our employees and guests. Mr. Warren, please go ahead.
Okay. I would, first item on the agenda, I would point you to the consent agenda. It's on the second tab, consent agenda. We will be approving this meeting agenda, the minutes from 11/14, and the district financial reports.
Are there any questions regarding the consent agenda? If not, we have a motion.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Motion from Josh, second from Ms. Timberg. All in favor?
Just two first.
Just can't help it. It's right in my head.
Next item is the special reports. And Mr. Johnson was going to be here, and he contacted me on Friday saying that he got called in an urgent way to play in a jazz band. And he offered to do this on a different one, and I offered to let him, and we just kind of decided I can present this for you. I'd already put him off 1 month in November when he wanted to do it, and
So it's all your fault.
it is all my fault, and I'll take full responsibility for it. But I've given you what he wrote out on their spring break trip. This is a request for travel for the band. They go every 4 years, I think is what he says, on a spring break trip to Disney World or to Florida. They're looking to go on Saturday, March 18th through Thursday, March 23rd this time around. They've done their own fundraising. I don't know if you want me to go through each bullet point or if you want to look at it. It's a cost of for each individual student that they've raised their own money for. They'll get provided meals and they'll have to provide some of their own meals while they're at the parks. The bus drivers are compensated. Band boosters pay for the transportation costs. Harry is aware of it. Personnel pay for their own trip. The interesting part is that they also do a clinic at Disney World. They go through. I think he said at this point they do a film clip and they kind of score it while they're trying to do that as well, or while they're at the park itself. So it's got educational aspects to it as well. They do take parents and siblings, and the last point there is that many of the kids, they don't get this type of travel a lot, and that's one of the reasons that he likes to go.
Right.
He even talked about if they could. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but when he was talking to me, he's we try to get as much sightseeing as they can. If they can get to the beach, they'll try and go to the beach, that type of stuff. So, because some kids will not get to go to the beach ever. And so he wants to get them that type of experience as well. So,
And it's fully funded by fundraisers.
their fundraising and all that, they pay for everything.
Well, Well, I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, if there's no further questions.
I'll second it.
Like second. First or second, all in favor?
Okay, thank you. Next, we have a special report from our St. Paul Schools. I'm gonna turn it over to, Mr. Dunlap.
Make my way over here. Hold up, lady.
I'm actually not going to lead the presentation. My group of outstanding teachers that went with me to our professional development this summer is going to lead the presentation. But I just kind of want to lead you into what led us to get there. So, you know, we wanted our focus to be this year, especially at the high school, about improving our school culture and climate for our kids and make it a place where kids want to be. You know, you walk around to the elementary and intermediate schools and kids just love being there and they maul you and hug you and, you know, attendance is great. And so that was our focus for the high school. How do we make it a place where our kids want to be? And, you know, you've always got a certain number of kids that tell you they don't want to be at school. They'd rather be doing something else. So that was our focus. How do we reach those kids? So instead of going to model schools, which is something that our district has done in the several years, we went to Jostens Renaissance. And these ladies are going to tell you about the experience. And this was a team of teachers that went with us and the buy-in that we created. And they've got a little PowerPoint presentation that they're going to share with you. So I'm going to turn it over to them.
So we're going to introduce ourselves. I'm Miss Huff. I'm the librarian.
I'm Miss Glenn, I'm the instructional facilitator.
My name's Maddie Milani. I'm English and Family Consumer Science.
Excuse me. Rose McKinney. I do high school English, theater, and journalism. Yeah, I've kind of like Mr. Dunlap was saying. I actually had the opportunity to attend model schools as well as now the Jostens Renaissance, and I would not hesitate to say that Jostens had a much bigger impact on us as a team and what we brought back from it. It's really just about best practices for creating school culture and climate. There were just numerous very passionate educators that spoke. One particular motivational speaker who I've referenced up here, Jean-Paul Gonzalez. He spoke about a concept called all in. And I did put a video link up here if anybody wants to check it out later, unless Bailey took it out.
We took it out. We can send it out.
Anyway, we decided it was a little bit too long to show everybody tonight, but his use of just those two words, all in, just had a huge amount of meaning. Just being all in, not just in your workplace, but in your family and everyday life. He's definitely worth looking into if you want to. So yeah, I think that's it.
Okay, so the 6 R's of Renaissance, they highlighted these throughout the week. It's respect, recognize, reward, reinforce, relationships, and results. And so that just goes with, you know, we need to respect ourselves, we need to respect our students need to respect us. That's actually 80s rally. They are big on their rallies and talk about fun. We had a blast dressing up, and this training brought us together. Not that we weren't together before, but it really brought us together as, you know, as teachers, as colleagues, as friends. It was amazing, and it is so much, it's just a pleasure to work with people that you actually like, you know? And so this really brought us together. It was a blast, and we learned so much at this rally, and we brought that back to our students. We brought this energy back with us, with our students, and that really helped with the first day of school, and it really helped. It's still helping. It helps us every single day. And so we'll share more about that.
So the 3 steps that they gave us for bringing this back to our school was to first build our brand, to second incorporate our core values, and to third bring our brand to life. So for us to do that, our next step after going to the conference was to involve our staffalty and students. We have adopted the word staffalty. It's a combination of staff and faculty, so that everybody at our school feels like they're a part of the team.
I like that.
And so this is our back to school PD. Just some pictures there. We did some team building games. This was actually, I believe, where we transferred farm animals and spoons to different containers. We were getting ready for Pioneer Days, so we were trying to incorporate that as well. This is a mad game of rock, paper, scissors. And so what you do is you pair off and you do rock, paper, scissors together, and you so if I were doing it with Miss McKinney, we would battle each other. Miss McKinney wins, then I would go cheer on Miss McKinney until it got to the end. And we actually, Miss Huff's going to talk about that in a little bit. We have been using that with our students too. The main goal of our back to school PD was developing our brand now. And so in order for us to be able to do this, what we felt like would be effective, we invited a group of student leaders to come to back to school PD. We asked them to come back one day early from their summer break and just be involved in conversation where we talked about what does our culture look like now, and we had to have some hard conversations about what does our culture look like now and what do we need to change about it and what do we want it to look like in the future and how are we going to get there. We came up with 3 core values in these conversations. We also developed a logo, which I'm going to show you in a moment. And our 3 core values as saints are family, integrity, and excellence. We had lots of different ideas, but as a group together, we came up with these 3. And from that developed our school logo, which are on the back of our shirts that we're wearing that you guys have. Our students wear these with pride now, as do we. And it's nice to have a logo and a brand and core values that everybody knows in the school, from the young ones on up to seniors. And we got a lot of really good feedback about our back to school PD this year. Often coming back to school and doing PD is sometimes just exhausting because you learn so many new things, but we got good feedback from all of our staffalty as well as students who just really felt like their voices were heard, and that was important to us. And so our step 3 was implement. And
Yeah. So when we went to Renaissance, it was overwhelming with the ideas that we had. So we really had to condense and decide, okay, what are we going to bring back? And the thing that inspired us the most was to have a non-traditional first day back to school with the high school. And so go ahead, and we started off by honoring our seniors, and they got to walk the red carpet and were introduced.
That was close to red as I had it. That's our red carpet entry.
But they loved it, and
Yes.
they were so proud. We were proud of them. But all of these ideas we got came from the Renaissance Conference. We had a back to school rally, so kind of like a pep rally. We did an icebreaker that involved every single student. We had games where each class chose the representative to play, and then we did the rock, paper, scissors, and the kids loved it. And here's a short clip.
so this is a video of them cheering on as it went.
Yep.
So what they did is they started out with just playing each other, and then once that person lost, you went and cheered them on. So by the end of it, you've got 2 separate groups, and everybody's cheering on each of the competitors. So it was a really fun game. But all those ideas came from Jostens Renaissance, and needless to say, the kids had a great first day back to school.
So one of the R's that they talked about was recognition. So in our idea for recognizing our faculty as well as all of our students was this in our hallway, which I got my journalism class involved in, interviewing all the staff and all the students. And so each person has their photo and a little bio next to their photo, underneath their photo. And this is our high school hallway. So each class has their own board and everyone's represented and recognized. And we also put up the honor roll, all A's or all A's and B's, the perfect attendance students, that's in the center there on that big bulletin board. Just one of the premises that I came away from Jostens with was like, recognition isn't just about telling someone you notice something good about them, but giving them a moment in the spotlight, and that each person has that.
Students really do stop and read these, and so I feel like that not only do they feel like they're being heard and recognized, but they're able to learn about their classmates and other students as well.
Okay. So continuing with building school culture, there were thousands of things that we learned from there, just mushed in just a couple of days, and we tried to bring as many of those to light as we possibly could. One of the main things was, like we've mentioned this entire time, building school culture and branding ourselves. So some of the questions that were asked of students recently after being in school for these past several months was, what does it mean to be a saint? What does it mean to be a family? What does it mean to live with integrity? And what does it mean to strive for excellence in everything that you do? And some of the responses were, to me, it means being in a small community that has a big heart and accepts someone for who they really are. To be with people who don't judge you and treat you fairly. To be honest with others, keep your word, and value those around me, given in any situation. And coming up from a bad background to a family that's given me a chance to see love and shown me that the world isn't all evil. I've found that life in general can be better through my eyes. I want to strive to make changes for myself and my family. So that was one student's take on that. And then another, saint, they're very passionate. Passionate word of excellence and leadership that shows good work truly. Being a family means that we all work together, standing up for each other no matter what. Living with integrity shows our values and doing whatever it takes to make our environment a better place, no matter the place. Striving for excellence means we do everything possible and more to be the highest achieved in anything that we try to accomplish. And so all of the students were sent these questions and asked for a little bit of follow-up, but those are the two that kind of stood out to me today. And we've improved overall, I would say. Our culture is amazing. It's a good day to be a saint.
So the rest of the slideshow are just some other pictures from the first day of school and after. This was actually our 80s day where we got to bring back some of our outfits and have the students interact with us for
by far the
Spirit
funnest
Week.
day of work.
It sure was.
Best day of work.
Yeah.
That's great.
While Kendra
Yeah.
goes through that, I want to say, go ahead, Kendra, and play those. When you go to a conference, there's breakout sessions and all the time. So we divided and conquered, and we would come back in at the end of the day and talk about what we've learned. And like they said, it was overwhelming. And the same theme was from most of the speakers there was come back with 2 or 3 ideas that you think can implement at your campus and stay with those because it can be so overwhelming. And even though we're small, it takes a leadership team that we have here to put these things together. I can't do it by myself. They can't do it by themselves, or the students as well. And so when we're there, the thing that stood out to me was one of the speakers stood up and said, excuse me, you better brand your school before somebody does it for you, whether it's positive or negative. And that really hit me, So when we came back, that's what we made it all about. And that was the last thing they said. You want to make the positive so loud that the negative is hard to hear. And that's kind of been our focus for the year and our imprint, and these guys are doing an amazing job. The kids have really bought into it. We're through the first semester now, getting responses back. I know Billy did a writing prompt with them about what it means to be a saint, those core values that we've talked to the kids about. So we're keeping that in their brain. And, I've been to lots of conferences over the years, my 31 years, and I can honestly say this is the one conference at the end, when it was time to go home, you didn't want to go home. It was fun, it was exciting, it rejuvenated your passion for being around kids, and that's what it's all about. And we had a blast, and we're looking forward to it again this year. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. I was able to attend their blue and white game, and I loved it. It was reminded me, because I taught at Kingston for 5 years.
Yep.
And even in our gym, you're right there, you're up close, everybody's, it's that atmosphere is just really awesome. I really enjoyed it. And thank you for the dinner.
Okay, thank you. St. Paul and Bruce, we appreciate it. Good report, good job.
That's awesome.
Going next to item 4, which is superintendent reports. Underneath tab A is our financial projection report. The biggest highlight is that a lot of our tax revenue came in finally in last month. You can see that revenue jumped up quite a bit in the actual for November. We'll have another couple of big months like that, and probably in March, and then again in April, somewhere in that time frame. We usually have another big jump. Maybe not that quite big jump, but we will have another one. We added a little box there in the middle for you to be able to see the beginning balance, the end balance, and the fund increase or decrease in parentheses if we had that, and that's for the overall year projected again. And that is taking from July and looking all the way into June of 2023, just so you'll know where those numbers are coming from. This is a document in the works. I am trying and working with Tina to make sure that we're painting the most accurate picture that we can based off the numbers that we have. And it's hard to do whenever you're projecting things 1 month out at a time, or not 1 month at a time, but projecting out like that. Do you take the average? Do you take the highest number? Do you take how do you do it? And so we're still processing through that, but we feel like we're painting a pretty accurate picture of where we're ending up. So the next item in tab B there is the enrollment report. This is made on December 7th, so that was the date that this packet went out to you. We decided not to start, I think I mentioned that last month, not to wait until the board day. We just put it out there for you on the day of. So on that date, this past week, we had 2,273 students. That was up from the same time last year at 2,206. Overall, we've got a gain. And if you look at the charts, that gives you the most accurate depiction we can have. We were up 12 students from last month. And this is kind of dispersed everywhere. It's, at the high school there were 4 or 5 extra, or 6, according, on this. There's 3 at the middle school, a few at the intermediate, and then 1 at the Watson, and that excludes pre-K in general on both campuses, at St. Paul and at Watson Primary. So there's continued growth there for right now. So.
Quite a bit from last year at this time.
Mm-hmm.
67 students, a lot of money.
So if there aren't any questions about either one of those, we can go on.
St. Paul lost 3 students last month, is that what I'm reading?
Yes, sir. At the elementary school.
Yes.
Can't tell you what grade they were in though, I'm sorry. But I can compare and get that number to you, which
That's
which
okay,
grade
I
level
just
they
want
were.
to make sure I was reading right.
Yes, sir.
One of those
Pretty
came
hard,
from
Rick.
St.
Love
Paul
school.
to primary, so it may be that
Oh,
you
okay.
lost one and that's the one I gained.
Gotcha.
Oh,
Okay. Okay, moving on to the administration reports, we'll just start here with Mr. Ferguson. We do have, Harry is pulling a bus out of, that was stuck in the ditch apparently somewhere. Everybody was safe, but it, you know,
I seen
Harry's
one
pulling
coming
that
off
out.
of Slow Tom, I think, when I come by, we're down in there.
Mr. Kane was not able to make it, and Steve was not able to make it, so, but everybody else should be here. Start with Mr. Ferguson.
I don't really have much new, just, continuing to do what I've been doing, trying to get in classrooms and meet with principals and, spend as much time out and about as I can. We did have our wellness meeting, at the end of, or middle of last month, and went really well, and, Roxanne and I and some of her teachers went to a poverty training that was really good, really, spent a lot of time reflecting during that and after, so, but that's about all I got that's new. So
How did the other schools report cards? Cause I know they weren't in yet at our last meeting.
they're out now.
HSD did good.
They are public now. There's some areas of growth, some places that we've got to work on some things, but there's also some things to celebrate. I think Randy's gonna talk a little bit about middle school achievements and stuff, so I'll leave that to him. Go ahead.
Okay. Just, lots going on. We've got, finishing up for semester break. This Friday, we've got, our drama class is putting on a production this Friday night. Public's invited, 6:30, Ms. McKinney?
7:00.
7:00, sorry, 7:00. Had our choir performance, elementary choir, ball games. We're just rocking and rolling, knocking out the first semester. Really proud of my staff and my kids, and, it's a true team effort. And Matt and I, he's came down and we've talked about where our vision is and what we're trying to get done here and how do we envision getting it done. And so I think we've had some good conversations and we're on the right path. So really looking forward to the next semester.
That was one
Yeah.
question that I had earlier. Yeah, you guys said that you met with some of the students like a day prior to school starting. Are you planning on doing a follow-up with that at the end of school or to see how things are progressing?
We haven't thought about that, but that's a great idea.
Yeah, we
will now.
we will have our next academic rally, the 6th, when we get back, and those kids that we brought in for that first day might be a good time to bring those in and see where we're at, where do we need to improve for the next 3 to 4 months, making our way out. So, yeah, that's a good conversation to have.
That was just one thing that I've
Sure,
thought about,
absolutely.
see how it's actually, everything's working.
One of the things I did want to add as well was, we got the recognition reward for our graduation rates at St. Paul, and we're very proud of that. That's what this whole process is how do we continue to improve that and stay where we're at. So real proud of our graduation rates and our kids doing what needs to be done. Yeah. That's it.
I'm glad y'all didn't take very long, because I have a list.
Okay.
A really long list. We've got semester exams this week, so we've got kids, taking care of that. Band concert was last week, and I did live stream it, so y'all can see that as well. Tomorrow night is the choir concert, and it's at the high school cafeteria. The gym, or the activity center floor, it's not cured enough yet, so we can't really get feet on it other than basketball shoes, because we don't wanna mess that up. So anyway, it'll be at the high school cafeteria. And our high school adopted 21 grandmas and grandpas from Countryside Assisted Living for like the Angel Tree. So we've got those, and those are clubs and different groups that did that. We're going to deliver them on Wednesday at 10 o'clock. We've got someone dressed as, Daniel Sandoval is gonna dress like Santa Claus, and Ellie Harriman's gonna dress like Mrs. Claus and go with us, and we've got the FFA is going to wear their dress blues and go because they look so awesome in them. So we'll video that as well as much as we can, and they're all excited about it, so that makes me excited. We just got a few, and then everybody's like, I want one, so we went and just got the rest of them, and that they had left and took care of them. And we're gonna do this again next year, so. We did enroll I'm glad you mentioned that, we did get a whole bunch of new kids, enrolled. We had the Kiwanis shopping last week, and that was a huge success, and Skills USA helped with that, and different, people in the community. I do wanna brag on Stetson Ledbetter, he's our college and career coach. He is working his tail off to get kids internships, he's taking kids to colleges, he's taking kids to different, places for employment. He got two or three kids an internship out here at the wallpaper place. I didn't know there was a wallpaper place, but they're working out there. Of course, our Jaden Watkins is still at the auto shop, or the auto place in, it's Landers?
Toyota.
Toyota. Yeah, Landers Toyota, and soon he'll be making more money than me. And then, he is also planning, he and his boss have set up different college and career seminars. If you've never, came to one of those, you need to, because they're really nice. He gets different organization or companies throughout, this, Northwest Arkansas and throughout the state that have one of their professionals Zoom in with the kids, and they get to learn about what that job is and what it requires, and that's big for our kids, and St. Paul also does that, because these kids don't know what's out there, and it's kind of like they don't go anywhere, because they're in Madison County, and that's not, I'm not meaning that bad, but the world is bigger than what they know, and so we're bringing the world to them. And I really, really like that, and if y'all have any ideas, I know that we wanna bring in some, I gotta brag on another kid, too, but bring in some electrical things and different things, but.
I've got some companies set up ready to go whenever you are, so.
Okay, and we also have a senior who is doing an electrician internship. It's Duggar Tipton, he's one of our football players with a group in Siloam Springs. So we've got kids learning all over the place, and that's very, very exciting, and I'm really proud of that. We're talking about the poverty training, it was so good that I decided to bring it to the high school, and they're gonna be here on January 3rd. If y'all wanna attend, that's great, I think that would be awesome. I'm going to ask, and so if you're listening, Mayor Dotson, I'm gonna ask him and the judge and the sheriff and different people in the community to come and listen to it as well, because we need your help, the high school needs your help, as far as graduation rate and different things and the importance of high school. And I think once that we all understand what we're actually dealing with, I think that everyone will be able to help us deal with that, because it's a matter of instant gratification of getting that paycheck and not realizing that if you graduate, you get a bigger paycheck. So we do have that going on January 3rd, and we come back that day, but the kids don't come back until the 4th. So we've got that going on.
Is that a all-day thing?
It will be
Okay.
in the high school by food. So, and it's put on through the OUR co-op at Harrison, which is the educational co-op. It's their nurse, which happens to be my friend. That's how I stumbled upon this, but it was really good. So, and then the NWA co-op that we have, that nurse is helping as well. So they've got a lot of statistics, which I think is probably the most important. Would you agree, Matt, for the statistical piece of that, to see where Madison County is? That's why I'm asking the elected officials, because to look at Madison County versus Washington and Carroll, it's eye-opening. So I would encourage y'all to attend. If you want to, just let me know.
Can you send us the details?
I will. So,
Madison County Health Coalition put that together
Mhm.
and offered it to teachers and everybody in the community, so big shout out to them for putting that together and having it in Huntsville, where it was easy for us to attend, so.
And I took 5 teachers with me, teachers slash, counselors. So it was a really, we were all just like, oh, when we saw the statistics and the different, it's not how to get out of poverty, it's how to deal with poverty and encourage kids and their families to, for graduation and that sort of thing. And we have so much to offer at St. Paul and at Huntsville High School because with this new CTE building and things, and there's so much out there, and there's so much. I've got to win the lottery, but you have to play the lottery to win. I figured that one out. So I've got so many things I want to do, and I don't have enough money. So I got to win the lottery. But I just want to say that we're working hard, and we're really trying to get these kids what they need. I will say that NWTI hired a welder, so we will have welding next semester.
That's amazing.
Yeah, his name is David Robinette, and he's from my area. He's Ricky Springs, Berryville. He's been working with the NTI instructors over there to get a grip on it, and then he'll be here in January. Well, a little bit about 2 weeks after we start because it's college credit. So colleges always start later than we do.
So what will that give us in that building now?
I'm sorry.
What all will that give us in that building?
That will give us the diesel and the auto. It'll give us the welding and the CNA. And we're working on the EMS. We're probably not gonna get it this semester, but we'll have it next fall. We're looking at the fire cadet piece. We've got the CDA rolling, and Ms. Calmer and I were talking about that before the meeting, and we've got a lot going that I'm pretty proud of.
Now, St. Paul still has the small engine CT.
Outdoor power sports, yes,
Yes,
sir.
Yes,
and we
okay.
sent 3 boys down from the high school, 4 from the high school, Huntsville High School down here to work on it as well, and they're excited about that, and
I really like it. They're
yes.
doing great.
Yeah.
And I'm excited because they're excited, and they come and talk about it, and it was cute because we had the little angel tree people, and when the CNA girls came in, she goes, I wanna get one of the CNAs wanna do one of the angel trees from Countryside, and I said, okay, so I showed her, and she goes, oh, I know who this one is, I'm gonna do this one. I said, how do you know who that is? She said, I work there. And I said, oh, okay, and she's doing her CNA training, but they went ahead and hired her, so when you stop and just sit and process and think about all the good that's coming out.
Well, the
it
possibilities of
overshadows the
that
bad.
whole program, any of those programs is endless.
Absolutely.
It's
And we-
amazing that we're
Yes.
finally, seems like everything is coming together for the CTE
Yes.
program in all
It is.
aspects, and it's amazing.
It is, and we also have the teaching, that they wanna do the teaching, and we've got them going down to the elementary school, and Jennifer can tell you that they're all down there, and there's big football player boys coming back going, oh my gosh, I love these little kids, and I'm like, okay. And they're gonna take their paraprofessional tests at the end of the year, and they can be a teacher's aides, and while they're in college, there's just a lot going on, and to sit down and write it all out is big, so I do wanna say we're proud of that. I wanna brag on we've got a lot of new people this year, maybe not new to education, but new to Huntsville, and they are doing a great job. They're building relationships with kids, and they're happy, and the kids are happy, and we hired some really good people, so I am thankful for that, and we've got a holiday stuff happening. That's why I'm in a Grinch shirt, because I forgot my boots and couldn't put my dress on to be here, so this is why I'm wearing this. But we've got crazy hat day tomorrow, Santa or holiday hats and ugly sweater and dress like your favorite movie, and I'm gonna be Woodstock, and Dana Phillips is gonna be Snoopy, so we've got a lot of fun stuff happening this
May
year.
made me be Charlie Brown.
She's gonna be Charlie Brown, and then
You
Charlie
gonna
Brown.
shave your head or wear a skinhead wig?
She's gonna be Linus, and then our library media special is gonna be Lucy, the one that pulls the football all the time. And she's already made her little cardboard thing that says psychiatric help, 5 cents, the doctor said, so we're gonna have fun with it. And
Oh, that's good.
we're gonna be a little silly, because sometimes you just need to be a little silly. But today was Grinch Day, and we're having fun, but we're still learning, and anytime y'all wanna come in and take a peek, sit in the classroom and see what's going on, you'll be quite amazed. I'm sure of that. And we still have robotics too, by the way. So, a lot happening.
With like Jaden and Duggar, is that a job release, like they go during the school day?
Mhm.
And is that part of our regular program of job release, whatever, I don't know what that class is called?
They're in the marketing class, but Jaden, his is through, Stetson helped him get his. The Duggar, he had other connections that got his for him.
Okay, and so any kids that can get a job, they're being able to go?
Yes.
We have a path, can make a path for them to do that through the marketing class.
So like the old GCE,
It's much like that, kind of like.
but it doesn't exist anymore as that way. Back then where you worked half a day and went to school half a day.
Well, yes, they can.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. It's just not called that anymore. It branches out into several different areas.
Do they still get a credit for having a job like they used to?
Yes.
Cool.
I get it too. They get two, actually, 2 credits. And, the military's been in doing his recruitment and I don't know if you're aware of this, but if they do, like they're a junior and then they do their, basic during that summer, they get a credit for that basic, and if they are with the National Guard where they do their weekend stuff, they get a credit for that. So they get 2 additional credits just for that as well. We had what was it, Vanderpool, graduated a couple years ago. But he did that, and he got two career focus credits for that. He's the only one that we've had do that. I can't think of his name, I'll think of it in a little bit.
I know who you're talking about, but I can't think of his first
Yeah, he
name
married
either.
Elizabeth Stelly, she's in the National Guard as well. We've got a lot going on.
You good?
I'm good. I think I've taken up enough time.
Well, I'm just piggybacking on her to add that I had the opportunity last week to sit through a Skills USA meeting were you there? I think.
I was in the building.
Yes, Ms. Timberg was there. And I was so impressed with these kids that I don't get to see that side of them. And stand up and, follow their Robert's Rules of Order, and they did such a fantastic job and presented skills in a manner that was very professional, quite adult, very mature. I was so proud of those kids. And so big shout out to what Mr. Wrinkle's doing and Mrs. Wrinkle and Sherry Plumley working with skills. They were doing a fantastic job. And if you have the opportunity to go to one of those meetings or sit through something like that, I highly suggest you do so. So you see how these kids how they are adults and taking on these opportunities.
It was
Make us
really
proud.
amazing. I think they had that meeting, then they had another meeting, and the president couldn't make it yet. And so Chris Gates stepped in because he was the vice president, and it was like, I thought he was the president. I told them before the
they're
meeting,
fabulous.
I said, puts us to shame as a school board. They are just
Yeah.
like, boom,
And you
and
know
so
that.
serious.
Yes, yeah, and they did their pledge at the end, and it was
Very
fantastic.
impressive.
And Chris is 11th grade. He's not even, we still
Yeah.
get him one more year.
Those kids are doing great things.
Very impressive.
And they're getting a lot of scholarship money.
That they are.
Mr. Rockford?
First, I just want to thank St. Paul for having us out tonight,
You
and
bet.
appreciate y'all's presentation, and whoever the food person is, we've got an opening in middle school. No, it's
Can't have
really,
them, sorry, Randy.
really, really wonderful. No, seriously, thank you very much. It's a real treat. We were recently notified, the middle school, of receiving a couple of awards. This is really under Matt's leadership and just a wonderful staff that we have. They received an Office of Educational Policy Award from the University of Arkansas for high overall growth on the ACT Aspire. So that's quite an honor. And also received notice of the 2022 Schools on the Move Towards Excellent Award. That's for the school report card. I know one of you asked about that. The school moved from a C to a B, and so tremendous amount of
That
work
was
there.
always good.
Yeah. And to celebrate, we're gonna take the students, the current 7th through 9th graders. We've worked with Ms. Enix on this.
I'm glad to give them
She was more than willing to give him back for a day. No, we're gonna take him to the Jones Center next month and go ice skating. We're taking him, I'm not
Don't
skating.
cripple none of our football players.
Do what?
Don't cripple none of our
Well,
football players.
through our,
I'm gonna send Liz with you that day, Mr. Oxford.
okay, great,
Broken ankle,
great.
carry over.
Yeah,
Just
so
ask
we're.
no blood on the ice.
So we're real excited about that and what a wonderful the achievements those are. Last week, Miss Enix talked about this too. We had a great week with the winter band concert that was hosted at the high school. They did a tremendous job. We have a new guitar class. Well, we've expanded that guitar class. We've doubled the size of it. Didn't they do a great
Awesome.
job?
They were
30
awesome.
guitars at once. It's pretty cool. So that was really good. The highlight of my week last week, we had the Kiwanis Christmas shopping, and that was just really awesome to do. I took 2 youngsters around Walmart. I was reading over the rules at the end. I think I broke every rule. But no, it was great fun. And those kids were so well behaved and so appreciative. And that was just really heartwarming. And she mentioned this too, the choir concert tomorrow night at 6 o'clock in high school. Also, our middle school choir will be performing on Thursday at the state capitol for the Sounds of the Season event. So that's really cool. I think she took the high school last week. She's talking about how cool it sounds in there in the Capitol building. So that's a neat deal. Thursday, we've got an event at middle school. Our 8th graders are participating in the Junior Achievement Financial Literacy Day. We'll have several volunteers in classrooms teaching about financial literacy, how to save money, how to budget, and those things. And that'll be pretty much all day for our 8th graders. And we just found out today that we had 2 students make the all-region band from middle school. So,
Awesome.
yeah, a lot of good things happening. Teachers are working hard and doing a great job. So, thank you very much. Anybody have any questions?
Matt, am I mistaken? Isn't this the 2nd year in the row for middle school to
For the
show growth?
OEP award, yeah.
Yeah.
We had best overall growth last year and growth in play. We were awarded for both last year. Yeah. But it's the teachers and the staff up there, they're amazing. They work extremely hard to make that happen.
Cool.
Thank you.
Tina doesn't usually like to talk.
I don't, but just information. We did receive word from Legislative Audit that our auditor will be on site after the holidays. And so she has asked, and they always do, for all of the board addresses and, email addresses and your mailing address. So just kind of watch your mail. I don't know if she'll send you something, and I'm sure it's just an informational packet, kind of the things they'll be doing while they're there. But I don't know if she'll send it to your email or send it through the mail. So just kind of watch your mail.
Do they audit the whole school as a whole, or do they audit each department?
It'll be the whole school. I mean, it's just, yes, the whole school.
So they don't audit each department?
Yeah, within the district.
Yes, it'll just be everything, all together.
Yeah, but well, that's why I asked, was do they audit the school as a whole, or is each department audited and then,
As a whole,
okay.
so. And I'm sure she'll be on, we know who's gonna be there. It's an auditor that's been there in the past, but it's not the auditor we've had the last few years. So, she's familiar with everything and, and everybody, of course, we've got lots of new people in our office now, but anyway, it's, we're not too nervous that way. She's a good one and she'll be helpful and anyway.
How's the banking transition going?
That sounds going.
Well.
I mean, that's gonna be real nice,
That's a
throwing in with an
sore
audit.
subject.
Might as well just do it all at once, right?
We have met with Cornerstone and I feel better about it.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh.
Yeah.
It has really caused a lot of Stomach ulcers.
We just got an
Tina.
auditor on campus, it's gonna be tax season, then we're gonna change banks, no big deal.
Do not leave us, okay? Just
Just hang with us,
Just hang with us.
Cake back there.
Yeah,
right.
exactly. But, we haven't really done anything yet. I did get a call from Harrison, they bank with Cornerstone, who we're gonna switch to, and heard nothing but good things from Harrison today. So all the schools I've contacted and that have got back with me, it's all been really good. They're all super happy and have nothing but good things to say about Cornerstone. So
And I'm sure
So
Bob will be
that's
able
very
to
helpful.
help you through anything.
yes. yes.
Oh, I think we had, in all seriousness, we had a really good first meeting with them regarding this, the pitfalls and everything that can come with this transition, so.
So after the first of the year, we'll dig right into getting that switched over. So, but anyway, watch your mailboxes for whatever legislative audit sends you, and I'm not sure what it is. I don't know if it's just informational. I don't know if it's anything you have to sign off on. Just kind of watch your mailboxes. So,
If we find out, we meet with them on Wednesday
yes.
morning, so if there's information that we can send you, I'll send it to you for sure. Ms. Roach?
Well, I bet you can guess what's happening at Watson Primary lately. 'Tis the season of giving, and like the others have mentioned, our students were able to participate in the Kiwanis gift shopping last Wednesday. They served 58 of our students at Watson Primary. Like Mr. Oxford said, it's so nice to hear the community members come back with the kid and say, oh my goodness, they were so well mannered and so thankful. And, some of those, we had a large group, and some of them shopped multiple times. Whitney was trying very hard to get out of there with her buggy. But it is such a blessing to the families. We'll have some more students that are served with Operation Blue Jean that Miss Lambert heads up. I think there's 10 or 11 more students that will be blessed through that. And then, of course, I don't know if you've seen on Facebook, but this makes the 4th year that the philanthropy group locally that is known as the Great Gift Exchange has come by. I know intermediate school, all the 3rd grade went on a trip, and they blessed them that way. We had a large box truck that delivered presents for every student K through 2nd grade.
Skateboards.
Skateboards. We had no control over that.
Pads. He can go. He doesn't want to start on flat ground. He wants to go down the ramp. I
Oh
was
my
like,
gosh.
dude, you got to learn how to skateboard.
My 3-year-old grandson came home with one too, so
We used
we
to
were
ride
like, oh
Tonka
yeah.
trucks down that ramp.
Yeah.
No helmet or nothing.
Well, they want to bring them back to school for recess. I was like, no broken bones on my watch, please.
Yeah, Ella was telling me about that today.
Yeah, so she would have got some dolls and maybe a nice wig to wear. But it's just such a neat thing that they do for our students. They serve a few schools within Northwest Arkansas. I think Mr. Warren said, when he was at a different district that he remembered that, but it's such a blessing to the kids and they truly enjoy it. And just to kind of brag on those Skills USA kids, because they are all about community service. And you can imagine a skateboard for every, half of the 525 kids that we have are boys. They had to unload that truck and get it out of there in the middle of 2nd grade performing for the school, and it was knocked out in no time flat. So it was just very appreciative. They did it without even batting an eye. I did treat them to pizza that day because it was a lot, and they were very, very helpful. Our 2nd grade Christmas performance was held last week, also on Thursday, and then the first year post-COVID, they actually got to go to the courthouse and do their courthouse tea that is held by the Madison County Homemakers Association. So that was just such a special event that you don't know how much you miss till you don't get to participate in it. So Christmas parties this Friday. Our kindergartners will sing for our school on Monday the 19th, so a couple of y'all might show up to watch your babies show off. And in the middle of all of that, just kind of trying to get all that mid-year testing done and all of that, so.
Can I do the reverse card, Mr. Warren?
I play that card.
Yes. Also, I forgot to mention the Eli Foundation, and then we have an anonymous donor that donates, how many, is it? $25 gift cards that we give to kids this time of year. And then the Eli Foundation in memory of the little man that we lost a few years back. He would be a 10th grader now. They gave us $500 to buy items from kids. So we've got $1,000 of donations just for high school kids. So I wanted to give credit there that I forgot.
Ms. Roach, I wanted to brag on your new reading curriculum for just a second. I ordered a salad Friday night and Clayton goes, I think I can spell salad. I said, oh really? And he sat there and he spelled salad.
Wow.
So they're sinking in.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Just like me, short and sweet. I don't have much to say.
I don't know about the sweet part.
I know. I was just thinking, I said that online. We do have maybe a couple of prospects for our openings, so fingers crossed.
How many are you down right now?
Two, the same
down?
two spots.
And what about aides?
Just one, but she left to go to a different job at the courthouse, so I think just that one that we're getting ready to interview, I believe, tomorrow for, so.
Oh, okay.
Is that the one that just left that we?
Yeah. But hopefully we can get these two openings filled up before spring comes along, so.
Good. After Christmas, we
It'd
think?
be awesome, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Lots of conferences coming up.
Well, all of our federal budgets have been approved, so we're good there. But now it's time to review and revise those for mid-year. So we kind of start over again. We look at what we've got remaining. As you probably know, with our federal budgets, we spend the vast majority of that money each year because we can only carry over a certain amount. It's a small percentage. It's different in different budget areas, but between 5 and 15%. So we'll be working to move money around within those budget codes to make sure that it's in the best place so that our principals and staff can spend that. And we're working on special education testing, getting ready to really ramp up with that. Usually January is our big referral time for our younger kids especially. So we're doing a lot of testing and a lot of conferences right now.
We are just working on our projects that we're going to be trying to knock out while everyone's gone next week on Christmas break. So I appreciate the guys for working over break to kind of get that done while no teachers or students are in the classroom in the building. So that's it.
Tanya, I noticed at the administrative meeting that you talked about the calm room and that there's funds. Are we moving forward with that?
I have not heard back yet.
Okay. There's so much money right now for mental health.
Yes, it's a huge need. But we do actually have those kind of rooms in just about every campus, but some money to supplement those and add things to it would be really good.
Yeah.
Who's doing compliance and whatever it is that Ms. Kimball did now? Is it just an open spot or
No.
you and Matt absorbing that one? Just popped
Yes, sir.
into my head that we did have an opening there.
Right now, we are absorbing it.
Well, technically, it's not open till the end of the month, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. But we are taking on those responsibilities at this time as well.
But moving forward, is that gonna be?
We will see how it goes,
Evaluate
this, and evaluate, and then, you know, if it needs to be reopened, then we would look at it at the end of the semester.
So since you're getting evaluated, do you evaluate all your teachers and stuff also?
I evaluate, Mr. Ferguson and I have split up who we are evaluating as far as principals and director staff.
I just was curious about that, how it works.
And the principals.
Okay.
The teachers.
Yeah, the principals and the staff at their building.
Okay.
Ms. Dodine, are you on? Hold on, we can't.
far as I know, it's working. Steve, can you hear us?
Okay, give us a second, we're trying to.
To go from there to here, I guess.
Okay, I think we've got it fixed, Ms. Snowdine.
Hello, can y'all hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi. I just wanted to say a big thank you to our Skills USA guys that work in the automotive department over here, because I know that our primary and intermediate middle school kitchens sure did appreciate their help with the Thanksgiving dinner. We had a total of 10 of the young men that helped out, and I know we couldn't have done it without them. They had very good manners and worked very hard, and I think they walked away looking at things in a little bit different perspective after filling in and helping with Thanksgiving dinner at those kitchens. So big thank you to Mr. Wrinkle and all of the boys, the young men that helped us out, and we're just working hard every day to keep moving forward. And that's about all I have right now.
Okay.
You still short-staffed too?
Yes, we are. We do have the job posting out on the district website, and I have done a couple of interviews in the last week or so. So hopefully we will continue to work toward trying to get those positions filled.
Thank you, ma'am. Steve?
Yeah, it's pretty well business as usual here. Of course, everybody knows the kind of the flu bug and everything that's going around, all the sinus problems. We're trying to keep everything clean and sprayed and sanitized every day, and trying to keep it down to a minimum. I think we've done a pretty fair job of it. And talking to some of the other schools in Northwest Arkansas, they're having a little worse than what we are. So I'm proud of my staff for doing that, and we are full staffed right now, and I actually have 2 sub-custodians on staff now, and that is a big plus for me.
That was awesome.
And for our staff. So maybe the double shifts will have to come to an end here pretty quick. So looking forward to the Christmas break, and everybody's tired and needs a week off, and want to say Merry Christmas to each and every one of you.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Steve, I have one question. How is J-Dub and his crew doing on the air conditioning units and heating units for the schools?
I think you asked about J-Dub, is that correct?
Yeah, Bohannon Heating and Air, sorry.
Okay. We finished St. Paul completely. We got the units in stock and on site now. And Michael and I talked to JW last Monday, and every crew that he has got starting next week is going to be installing middle school and the intermediate. And they're hoping to have all of those done before we come back from break. And that will just leave about 8 units at high school that we lack. And we're waiting on those to come in. Those have been ordered.
Mr. Able to get
They've been working really well. I'm proud that we got 2 full campuses done. Watson Primary is completely finished, and St. Paul's completely finished. So we're making good progress.
That's great.
good news.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Kane? Anything?
Hello. We just finished the faculty and staff Christmas party at the school. We had a murder mystery while we were here, so glad that was solved.
Who did it?
And Intermediate wants to also thank the Skills kids for their help. They've done several things around here. We appreciate the what the wrinkles are doing, guiding those skills kids. We, Christmas musical Thursday night, and then our classroom parties are Friday during the day. We had our Kiwanis shopping last week, as it's already been mentioned as well. So, thank you and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Okay, thank you, sir. This is I've just closed with, this is the time of year where things are wrapping up a little bit. You know, everybody feels the end of the semester coming around, and I know that everybody has been working hard, very diligently at every department, every level, custodial, cafeteria, in the classrooms. The teachers are working hard to engage the kids with things that are seasonal and fun, but also educational at the same time. And you just go around and you can see it everywhere in all the buildings. So I appreciate that myself. Just seeing that from the teachers and from the staff and from the faculty and everybody.
And keeping control of Christmas fever.
Yeah.
How are we doing with bus drivers?
We are, today was not a great day. We had 3 out sick and we had to cancel 2 routes and had to run too early. But when I asked Harry about, what he's got coming in, he says that he's got 3 that are ready to go. They just got to pass the, final test, and then that will free up. And he indicates that he won't have to drive after that. So,
I know at the
hoping in
November
January.
Yeah, that's what he was saying at the November meeting, that after the first year that he thought that he was gonna be good.
It's his hope, that's for sure. He's just gotten, bus driving is the one area where they have to take 6 weeks to take the exam, to pass the CDL, to get their endorsement, to get everything done, and it's unlike any other scenario that we have. So it just takes a while. But he did say that he had 3, as he terms it, in the pipe, ready to go.
Bailey's like getting you off a bus too?
Hopefully.
We hope so, yeah.
So when we do the early release, is it always the same routes that are early release?
It's typically the 2
We can't,
town routes.
we can't rotate that so those kids don't keep missing?
Well, and I think
And also
the
it's
reason
probably
for that
burden
is
on
it's so
parents.
quick to get
Well, I
them
know
out
it's
of
so
the
quick,
back
but I was
line.
just, if there was.
We do
any
all
way
we
to
can not
rotate.
to, that's why I drive, so that we don't have to run those routes early.
Yeah.
So, honestly, it's been a little bit better over the last couple of weeks. This
Yeah, I
was the
hadn't
first day
seen
that
one
we
of them
had
in
to
a
do
while.
it, so.
Who said the phone calls have cut down tremendously.
Yeah, so we do have, we already had some people that have passed and had taken some spots, but it's just, it's a problem everywhere.
Yeah.
But, and that's not an excuse for us, it's just, it is what it is.
It is,
But he's very hopeful that at the beginning of the new year, we'll have at least the 3 in spots ready to
That's
go.
great.
You can't drive by a place in Fayetteville that ain't got a help wanted sign on it, and a corner that ain't got a panhandler on it.
No.
And it's unreal.
Well, it's just,
Standing right beside a help wanted sign.
We do have, I read or just in the trucking industry alone, there was like 60,000 jobs that they are either available or upcoming in the new year. So it's just there. There are jobs available and needs everywhere.
JB Hunt's 7,000 drivers short right now.
Yeah.
it's a good feeling, because, we went around the room a while ago, and it just seems like there's good things happening everywhere. And I think they had a slide earlier that, let the positives, outshine the negatives.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing right now, and it's amazing. I really like that.
No, there's good things happening everywhere.
Yeah.
So next item is new business. This is item 6 under tab A. This is the approval of the athletic facilities master plan. Last month I gave you the, as far as what I knew was the original from 2016, which was the color copy, to the updated one from 2020. And then the one that had kind of a blow up where the baseball facilities were planned to be. And this is the opportunity for you all to have a discussion or to gather input and make a decision on if you want to continue this route or change it up or whatever. I know in the board packet I asked at a minimum to please let's solidify a spot for where the batting cage and baseball facility may go at minimum. It doesn't have to be the limit, but
I think we need to start with that. Start with the baseball because we know we've got funding for that. The rest of it,
Well, the way it's laid out right there, it's gonna fall right into place.
We just need to make sure that that future baseball facility, if it is going to be in that location right there, will not interfere with a potential football complex with a track at some point.
correct.
That's right there, and
You know,
it won't, Josh, looking at this here.
Yeah, I'm just,
that's correct though. You know, if you want a football facility down that, I guess that's north in that area, right? Is that north? When you're actually on the site.
right.
But I think there'll be less dirt work where we've got it right now than if we moved it
Oh,
down
absolutely.
next to the.
Yeah, cause if you drive by like in front of the CT buildings and look back to your left, you can kind of see the lay of the land, how it is on the north side of where the activity center is. There's gonna be a lot of dirt
Right there,
work.
see?
Yeah, there's a lot of dirt work that's gonna have to be
Where
done.
this is.
Well, that's
but
pretty
now-
well already done, where the football.
Well, the football is, what I'm saying
Potentially
is to move the football there would be.
I'm not saying that, I was just making sure that.
Yeah.
I'm
But
not
there's
saying
gonna
move
be a-
the football
There's gonna
field
be
up
quite
there.
a bit of dirt work right in, this area.
Well, as they move dirt, they need to level, cause we need a lot more parking than what we've already got at the
Absolutely.
gym.
Yes.
And then we had a brief.
We are working with the city.
I was gonna say, first time I went up there, it was like, wow.
We had a brief discussion just a little bit ago, but one thing that we need to really think about, and I think it's already been done, we need to make sure we're utilizing that activity center for as much as we can. Because we're kidding ourselves if we're gonna get any more millage increases if we're not using that for everything that we can.
Correct.
You know,
and
they're
everything
not
that
gonna
was
pass,
promised.
they won't pass for other facilities if we're not using that one for everything we can.
Has anybody approached us to use it for anything community-wise yet?
Pee Wee has asked, that's the only one that I'm aware of.
We're doing
And then
the
it has been
teen
recently
summit,
Yes, the teen
there
summit.
in May for eighth graders.
We are getting the flooring covering so that we can utilize it more freely as well.
But Pee Wee's will be using it.
Yes.
For their next two.
Improved.
What is the, projection on the full cure of the floor?
Well, I mean, as far as I know, it's as much as that, you don't wanna, you're trying to avoid scratching it, and so there is that curing part of it, but, the floor covering that we would get would provide us enough of a layer to, and it doesn't look like it's a lot, it's just, it's real thin, it looks like
What is the
like plastic
ETA on
almost.
that?
I don't have one yet.
Would that be like a rolled style to where we just roll it up and, put it in a storage
Mhm.
and then just roll it out whenever we need it?
Kinda like a tarp on a baseball field.
Pretty much.
Yep.
As far as the master plan of, what is the process for being able to use it? Who's gonna be in charge of that? Because honestly, this is just my opinion, it shouldn't just be one department. There should be a master plan, and whether it goes through Matt, whether it goes through you, because athletics, they're gonna look out for athletics. That's their job. Band's gonna look out for band. Choirs, that's their jobs. It needs to be an outside person that can be in charge of all of it and has everybody's interest in mind.
You're
But you're
correct,
also
we just
gonna
haven't
have
processed
to have
it.
a-
Yeah, we haven't got there
We
yet.
haven't gotten
Yes.
that to that aspect
Yeah.
of it yet.
You're also gonna have to have a pecking order, so it's used for what it's,
Yes,
too.
yeah. Well, during basketball season, obviously, basketball has to be first priority there.
So when we're looking at this and thinking about it, so the Buck Vaughn Foundation, they have all the money ready to roll for what, do we know, or we're still not up to that point yet?
Potentially,
What are we
right
asking
now,
to do?
what we're needing to do is find a site, like find the actual spot for this. for this potential facility.
Okay,
For them to be able to know if they can, at that point, donate the
Okay.
funds to put it on there. Cause what they don't have, and what we don't have is site plan, meaning that the actual, like, how much dirt would it take to be able to put it where this is located. That's really, it's the civil engineering aspect of that, the dirt work.
Right.
How much dirt or how much leveling or whatever, and that's the estimate that we don't have, because we do not have that plan in
Right.
place.
Well, they have to do budgets on everything,
Exactly.
and they can't really do that without a
So, and
site.
that will be a big part of whatever the expense is site work. Not actual construction of the facility itself, but site work, just getting it level.
so you just
getting it
need
ready.
approval from us to move forward in this process?
Well, it's to pick the site.
Yeah,
To choose
is,
where it's
is
gonna
this
be at.
plan, which this is what we have in place, is this plan where this site is located, is this where we want the baseball facility to be?
So why did we go from 2 soccer fields?
I don't,
In part,
I don't know.
You do, but yeah, nobody. Okay.
We're all new.
Yeah.
Nobody does it.
Well, because according to our numbers,
Mhm.
not this next year, but the year after, we're probably going to 5A.
Yeah.
Our facility is way, way, way too small for a 5A program.
I understand that.
And, they're looking, we're probably not gonna come back down from 5A. So for parking and you've seen when they've got a game at the gym and the football game the same night on the parking stuff, I'm sure that's why they changed. I don't know that, but if I was betting, that's where I would put my money.
Yeah.
For the simple fact that we need the room.
Soccer and football can
we
share
don't have a
space.
track, we don't have a track. We don't have the room to put a track around our football field. Our football field could easily be converted to a soccer field. And
build
no
a
more
football field.
spectators than soccer draws. Nothing against soccer, but it's just not a big spectator sport in this area, overall. So it would be plenty big for a while. I'd say that's probably why part of that was done.
That makes sense.
That does make sense.
Trying to see the big picture,
So
but
not
I
doing
may be
away with that
100%
field.
wrong too.
I know a lot of the football fields, like Gravitz, theirs is also soccer
Mhm.
adaptable. It's got the lines on it, so I know a lot of them do that. Harrison does that.
Well, that's what we.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but what Elkins don't have soccer lines on their field too. I can't remember, but
Well, I think most places do use both as well. As both. I was just trying to get from point,
yeah,
how we go from this to this.
I wish I could tell you.
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
So the little square of the parking here for the Huntsville practice facility is what they want land for.
I personally like the layout on the first one, the old style layout of the softball and the baseball. I think eventually that would give you more parking than any of them.
Cause you're gonna need more parking than a little bit at the baseball field.
If you went ahead and turned the softball and the baseball that direction, and then you didn't do the soccer field right there, but you could do more parking, then eventually have the football field where it's drawn on the second page.
You ever been over there when the sun sets?
Where's that?
At the end of that building.
No, I don't guess.
We need to look because I've been to some fields that are terrible. You can't see the ball coming at you at the plate the way the sun sets. That may be another factor in there. We do need to look at that too before, you know what I'm saying? We need to go over about sunset this spring during daylight savings time during baseball so we can see what it looks like. Cause do you want it to affect the fielders? Do you want it to affect the batters? The way
Which
it's laid
direction
out.
is this facing?
Well, if you look at that second page, it'd be right in the fielders, or the batter's eyes.
That's west?
Well, my second page anyway, I don't know.
So here, he said these are facing west.
Right,
So they're batting this way and pitching this way. It's really not gonna be in either one of their faces turned this way. But if you turn it the other way, it's still not gonna be.
Either way, if it's what laid out like you said it is, either way, if it's laid out, the sun's gonna be a factor.
Yep.
So, but I didn't know if that might have been why they changed them.
I just think we could get more parking in if we laid it out on the colored page.
That would be
But you've got
But
all,
so that'd be north up here.
north, so yeah, sun wouldn't, sun sets east and west.
I mean, you could potentially get a little bit on the softball field,
Mhm.
on the
But
batter.
not for long.
but they usually start at 4 o'clock. Don't they?
And
Yeah,
this
but
part of
you-
your game is played in the dark.
On this green one here, Josh,
Yeah.
you got no room for a football field with a track.
You could have where the soccer fields are, that'd be all parking.
So you're not taking, he's talking about just taking out the soccer fields.
Taking out the soccer fields completely,
And
that
just
parking that's,
rotating.
if you look where the activity center is, that's not turned that way anymore anyway, so that, where it said it had that parking, that whole parking where it showed is technically the football field.
Yeah.
So you'd have parking basically in between the activity center / football field to the side, and then the softball and the baseball up north. So basically where those soccer fields are, that you potentially turn that all into parking.
Yeah, but you turn all this down here too, though, below this practice facility, cause it's just this small on both sides of it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's about 6-1.
Yeah, and there's some good stuff, but I guess it's good.
And it'd be less dirt work to make parking down here with it like it's laid out the football field here, that would be to put the football field up here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As far as dirt work, the way it's.
Well, the only reason I was saying is because you'd only be up, the only dirt work technically you'd have to do as far as bringing it up is where the baseball is, instead of having to bring up all of that for parking around back there.
And you could level it down for parking and just level it out.
Yeah.
Maybe, but like I said, that'd be something an architect could decide, not my old.
Yeah, well, civil engineer would get all of that.
But either way, would be good.
I'm game for whatever.
We'll probably be kicked out of the office by the time it rolls around
You're in
anyway.
construction, this is your.
Well, that's why I'm just, I mean, I've been around it a little bit, so.
I don't think sun is really, if we're facing.
No, not the way they're laid
north and
out.
west, it's not gonna, or north and south, it's not gonna.
I honestly don't know.
Mr. Warden.
I think it's just a
I
blob.
do not. You talking about that little square?
Yeah,
Yeah, I do not know.
just a blob.
That was not,
May have been.
There wouldn't be a water meter or something out there, would it be, Josh?
Probably a
drainage or
I
something.
wouldn't
Yeah,
be
it
a
could
gas
be.
meter, what, it shouldn't be a gas
That is-
meter. out
What is
there.
it?
Maybe like a
Yeah, I think that's a drain.
It's a drain.
it is a drain?
Yeah.
So Josh, you're proposing that these kind of get moved to face this way, and then what about the facility?
I'd say you have it where it's drawn on the colored page.
Oh, is it on there? Oh, I didn't even see it on the colored page.
It's right there
Okay.
beside the softball.
Softball field.
Is there some way we could get a cost comparison that makes a difference?
I mean,
The other?
personally, that's how I would play it. I
Look
mean,
at both and see what the
yeah, I
cost
mean,
comparison
if,
is.
Yeah.
I'd be more than willing to sit down with whoever, if need be, to kind of talk about it.
Pros and cons of each one.
Absolutely.
That'd be awesome.
That would be good to have somebody.
Okay, we can do that. So we do have it narrowed down to 2 spots though, 2 potential spots.
Yes.
Two potential.
That'll work.
I mean, I
That'll
know
work.
that's not what we were looking for tonight. We was looking for a hard,
No,
hard
that'll
side,
work.
but
That's better than just anywhere, for sure.
I do think the more parking right here, I mean, you're gonna have to have more parking. for
I just
baseball
like
and
the
softball.
idea of having the more parking between the activity center and the
And-
softball fields.
Even if you kick the softball field here, Josh, down to there, and use this for parking in the practice, little deal up here between them, would also work pretty good, and the sun still wouldn't affect it, cause you could put the, plate back here, and the sun might affect the filters just a little bit early on, but that would work pretty good too.
Yeah.
And still utilize the land pretty good without a lot of waste or nothing.
Mhm.
And they just have to level that corner out, cause it could drop down from the baseball field to the softball field, they ain't gotta be set level
Right.
side by side.
Yeah. That's kind of what I was looking at on
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
colored one. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that just gives us potentially, you know, the best use of our space that we've got.
No, that's perfectly.
Like I said, you know, they wanna talk about it or whatever, or you have questions or whatever, just
Okay.
So when a
If they've
table.
got a computer program where we can lay it out on the computer real quick and look at it and switch it back and forth, it would be a lot faster than
Sure,
doing
yeah.
this on paper.
And they're using engineering elements anyway, right? Isn't that who,
I do not know who the,
I mean, that's typically who does our stuff. is
Stacy
engineering elements.
Easterling's over the Buck Bond Foundation, you might ask him.
Well, what's this?
Architecture Plus is the one.
Architecture Plus who drew these, though.
Okay.
Yeah, the architecture side, but as far as the engineering side, it'll be somebody different. I wanna say they typically use the architecture plus / engineering elements, kind of a combined, one of them does engineering, one of them does architecture.
We'll find out. We'll get a cost comparison.
So do we move to table this until next time?
Yeah,
with
there's
the
no
cost
action to
comparison?
be made,
Okay.
you don't have to take a motion or anything, we'll continue on with it.
Okay.
Okay, next up is the, item number 7, section 7,
But
approval,
before,
sorry.
how about, the energy audit? Where are we standing with that?
We met with them, sorry, there just wasn't any action for it, we met with them on, this was right before Thanksgiving break, if I remember right. They kind of outlined what their scope of their work will be, which is they're focused mainly on the LED changeover and potential solar impact, but then they'll look at all of it. And we signed the contract to go
So
forward.
we're just waiting for,
They're coming in over the Christmas break, that's their goal, and.
To do their audit?
To do their audit, we gave them floor
Awesome.
plans, they wanna do the most work where they least interference of our school day,
that's
so.
awesome.
And they're looking at, you said lighting,
Building envelope, windows.
They'll look at all of it.
the windows, the only reason windows, I've heard from staff members, you know, some of the windows don't work, some, you know, just different things.
Especially at primary's windows are in pretty bad shape.
Yeah.
We've included that in
Okay.
that aspect. They were already mentioning it, but we went ahead and asked them to go ahead and roofing on some aspects of it. I mean, they'll just do a comprehensive look at it all for us, and then we kind of, yeah, we can do that, or no, we can, or yes, we want to go that route.
Awesome.
No, that's in progress right now.
Good.
Okay, section 7, student transfer request. We have 2 student transfers.
Neither one of them enrolled.
Neither
looks
have
like.
been enrolled here. And I would recommend that they approve the transfer request as presented.
All right, do we have a motion to approve the transfer request?
Make a motion to
Motion by
approve
Steve.
transfer.
Second by Bobby, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Section 8, personnel. We would make a recommendation that the board approve personnel as recommended.
All right, do we have a motion to approve the transfers, resignations?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Josh, second by Steve, all in favor?
Okay.
Is Herb retiring or quitting?
He's quit.
We have Stephanie Camersell from Huntsville High School Special Education Paraprofessional. And that's 12/7/22. That date may be wrong, that may be the 31st, and we would make an amendment in the minutes next month if that's the case. Herb Worley, HHS Custodian, 12/31/22. Courtney Haddock, Child Nutrition, 11/17/22. Hires classified, Angie Acuff, high school child nutrition 180-day, 12/13/22. That was all for our personnel. Section 9 is other items from you all, or adjournment.
I have something. At the beginning of the school year, each one of the schools presented their school improvement plan. And we are kind of like, we're really wanting to move forward. And I don't think we can wait till the end of the year to see where we're standing. I think we need a kind of an update, maybe at the next board meeting, where you are on each one of those items in your school improvement. So we can see, I mean, you might not be able to do it. I mean, those things happen too, or it might need to have a different change, or there's something you don't have that you need, or, and so if there is, we don't wanna wait till the end of the school year and find that out. See what we can do. So is that a possibility? Okay.
Yeah, we can provide a status of the school improvement plan.
I'm still curious on this audit, it's got me.
They're gonna go through every single thing down to, did you receipt that you sold a little button that said
In every,
blah, blah,
in
blah?
every department.
Yeah, yes.
It's that
Yes.
extensive, okay.
It's described as, no, not by the auditors, but when you're going through coursework, it's described as a financial autopsy.
Well, I'm gonna say about everywhere I worked, they was pretty scrupulous. When she said they did the whole overall, I still kinda was,
And it takes months, you know,
Oh, yeah.
they'll camp in for months.
okay.
Sounds like a good time.
It's Tina's favorite.
Last.
How often they do it? Every year, every other year?
It's every year, yes.
And then we'll get copies of that.
They present their end of the audit. They'll meet with us first, they meet with the board president, and
Oh, boy.
then we present that. It won't necessarily be the auditor who present it.
Hey, Jonathan. Sorry, on the classified resignations there.
Okay.
I think Stephanie Camerzell, I think that, date is incorrect. Can we change that now?
I mentioned that to
Oh,
them.
okay, okay.
If
It is incorrect.
it's possible that,
I
okay,
just
so it'll be the
noticed it. I
30th,
wanted to make
it's the
sure.
31st, not the
31st.
2nd. That will be corrected on the minutes for the next month.
What is the correct date on that?
The 31st.
That's my error, I apologize.
I'd like to say a few words. As a lot of y'all know, we had our fundraiser here recently for our arts class. We was hoping for 6,000 with y'all's help, a lot of y'all's help. I believe the total was 9,200. I just want to thank y'all for being there. And one more thing I'd like to mention, I have brought this up, it's been brought up to me. Several of you, including myself, is probably ready to see the restroom. Well, in this building here, we have no restroom. We have running water. Whether it's cold, warm, or whatever, when the kids need to go use the restroom, they gotta go next door and get right in there at the grades plumb up to the seniors. I'd like to see about getting this here plumbed where we can have a restroom in this building. It's just something I'd like for the board and others to consider in the near future. It's not fair to Ms. Huff and others to have to leave this building to go use the restroom. I hope to be on here for 3 years. I'm not gonna sit bugging for money all the time. I'll help raise money. But let's try and get a restroom in this little building here if possible. Thank you.
What can we do to move that forward, to look at that and see what it would take?
We just have to look at architecture. I mean, it has to go through those type of.
Whatever it takes, I'd be very satisfied if we can at least look at it, girls.
Well, isn't it, anything done on school property's gotta be drawn up by a state approved architect and everything, so
So
it's.
it'll be a little bit of a process.
It'll be cumbersome, but we'll look
Worth
into
it.
it.
And
Thank you.
anybody else have anything?
I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody in here has said something appreciative about Mr. Wrinkle and his crew that he's got. So I'd like to thank him. I don't know if he watches these, but I know we thanked him, a couple board meetings ago, but.
I do have a letter from him for all of you guys. I don't think you guys can on that.
I'm like Josh, and I'm that kid. Most of y'all here, sitting in this room here, has been to college of some sort of class. I don't know about Bobby, but you're a teacher. Josh, I don't know if you have or not, I can't remember. But I'm sure some of us had college. I've never had a college course. I went to high school, went to work. I graduated and left out on the semi that night. So anyways, that being said, I am that kid that this CTE class is helping. So that is a very, very big thing that I like to see happening in our school system.
Yes, and I went.
Because I was that kid.
I was there with you the year later. I went to Ozark Vocational Technical School and did auto body and paint. Anything you can do here to keep kids involved is great. I wasn't ready to hit the workforce.
And that's the majority of the population of Pittsburgh High School and St. Paul. They, like I've said before, you ask them, do you wanna read Shakespeare, or do you wanna go build a fence for 12 hours? They're gonna choose that fence every time, because they're the hands-on kids, the hard workers, and that's wonderful. I mean, I've always been a proponent of CTE, and I've learned so much because of this building or our building over there, and the programs and different things. So there's so much to offer. That's why I said I need to win the lottery. So I can.
Well, I have lots of contacts in the construction industry, and you can ask any of them. They said that they'd rather hire kids from Madison County than they would
Absolutely.
anywhere.
You're correct.
Because they're
I've heard
hardworking
that
kids.
many, many times, and they wanna pinch their heads off a few times a week, but they get the job done for sure, and they have a smile on their face.
And I wanted to add that our outdoor power sports instructor, Mr. Whalen, he brags on the kids, the Huntsville kids and our kids about what good kids are. They come to class, they're eager to learn, they're just soaking it all in. So he has bragged numerous times on our kids.
Now, you said you bused some of the kids from Huntsville down here for that. Now, are they, is that like a 2 or 3 hour class, or do they gotta stay down, can they, if they've got a class that's only available, if they had English and they had to get back to Huntsville instead of missing it on the bus ride, are they able to take that class down here? Is that something they do? I was just curious.
I'm sure we could. We'd have to look at the coding on that, because right now they're coded into 2 buildings. So
Okay.
we could do it. That wouldn't be a problem at all. It's just, I'd have to look.
Well, I didn't know, cause some kids that take them classes struggle with English and history and stuff like that. And if they're losing class time on their travel, if they could take the class here, if it would be better, since it is considered a campus of,
Right.
St. Paul campus,
And a
Huntsville
smaller class
School
size.
District.
And we,
We do
smaller.
have the program Apex that we purchased that helps kids like that can't get to the traditional sophomore English or junior English, but it's offered through Apex, so.
Okay,
and like I said earlier, I've got some ideas that I haven't talked to Mr. Warren about yet. So, but my brain does not shut off very well. So everything just runs through my head a lot. And the whole point is that we've got to meet kids where they are, and we've got to use everything that we've got to reach those kids and to keep them here and to get them graduated and get them to post-secondary education, whatever that may be. And we've got to make sure that we're doing right by all of them, and we're getting there.
Have we got a good start?
We do, and I'm so stinking proud. I really am. I'm so proud of that CTE building and all. I can't, we've talked about Frank, and he's phenomenal, but we can't discount Stetson either, because he
Absolutely.
killing it. And he's one of our kids, graduated 2018. So, we're growing them and keeping them.
And Mrs. Wrinkle, I mean, she
Oh,
loves it too.
She likes the computer.
She keeps
wheels
Frank
or
in
something.
line.
She does, and she's
And then
got us
Miss
enrolled in
Plumley, she went through the VICA, it used to be VICA. So she
Mhm.
went
Yeah.
through it, so she knows how to do it all, and when the meeting I attended, she was in that meeting, so. And very supportive. Miss Samuels is very parent supportive of the whole group, cause she went through
Yes.
it too.
There's a lot, but we'll get there. Small bites.
Anything else from anybody? All right, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a
Motion
motion
by
to adjourn.
Steve,
Second it.
second by Connie. All in favor?
Thank you all.
I'll keep this because I wrote